Alright, sorry for the previous video in the woods. Basically don't touch the mic and I can adjust the sound later, and I'm trying to move it mid-presentation. Always causes distortions that can't be removed. In continuation of the previous written segment that I'll probably try and put into spoken word, is that one of the main things we have to think about is how we would fare in a society, and how we would be affected living in a society where everyone's experiences, intentions, and thoughts are known to the public, where there's basically no deception. There's no privacy in those regards, but there's also no deception. And so whatever problems that are created from that, deception and lack of congruence in consciousness, basically, for lack of better vocabulary, they would be nullified. But as well, whatever insecurities we would have, say from self-image or certain maybe habits, basically disorders, is that they would either be magnified to the point of making social interaction impossible, or distorted beyond belief to the point where we would have different segments of society that would develop, from those who are capable and those who aren't, at least of a certain kind of interaction, and then basically various degraded forms of interaction that would come from that. And so basically, if these insecurities are also kind of like mental disorders, and so they would have to be healed. And part of the process that is being undergone right now is a mass amplification of disorders, of polarization towards self-destructive means or harmony, and basically a purging of these mindsets and habits and tendencies, basically belief systems. And it's not as like clean cut as one would expect. You can't really go in and turn something on or off. The people themselves have to disable these basically corrupted thought systems, just like a computer system, file system. They have to disable these systems by acknowledging them, by using observation and acknowledgement, and then basically overgrowing them. That's the only way, is becoming immune to it. There are no more band-aids, there are no more cures, there's nothing like that occurring. When every person that survives this must become immune to all the previous disorders of the mind, the thought system, and the body is, manageable. But the mental aspects, they have to become immune. Every person that will make it to the next civilization will be entirely immune to everything that persists and plagues this current civilization and the previous civilizations. And other civilizations have made that shift. They basically disappeared from our point of view in time and joined a cosmic, if you will, collection of civilizations. And how this actually comes about is rather confusing, whether it's entirely through these computer systems or a rift bridging across this temporal rift in space-time, which is a poor word to use, and basically joining this hyperspatial grouping of civilizations, this community, it's like a galactic community at that point. And it's kind of confusing, because basically this happens when the energy, the combined or collective energy of all individuals in the civilization achieve each within themselves an exponential increase of their awareness beyond their physical consciousness, and therefore they overcome themselves, if you will, in time. Their temporal print overcomes their physical body, if you will. They catch up to themselves, and in that way the consciousness of the physical body catches up to the future states expanding off in time. We actually meet the future possibility to the point where there's no longer some future state that could or will be, but that it's all happening now. And this is basically the end of time. And every time it happened before to these civilizations, to our civilization, we kind of collapsed back into the default mode. And so we're supposed to have enough energy now, and we're far enough along the trajectory of time so that we have integrated technology, and this technology enables our future selves to basically draw us in and anchor us into a stable position. And this is how the negative works as well, but they do that to anchor us into a destabilized position. The negative wants to kick us out of time. The light, if you will, wants to bring us into union with ourselves. And imagine what type of noble position you would have in the universe, knowing that your duty is to find, locate these civilizations in the frequency band of the universe and scan the timeline for possibilities where you can enter in and begin to interact and draw them up towards a position where they can function as a part of a galactic society and secure themselves essentially eternally as physical but non-physical beings. Okay, that's the stuff of these fantasy books or something like that. But that's just civilization in the universe outside of physical human existence. And it's what we're destined to do anyway, because that paradox, somehow our birth is ordained along with this, and the only reason we're not doing it now is because somebody after that, at a sub-administrative level, if you will, entered in some distortions that delay that, and their goal is simply to distract some energy away from that possibility and introduce their own format for what they want our civilization to be. And that never works because it's an unsustainable format. So it's just like a leech or a cheater or something, if you will. And that basically has to end because it's unsustainable. But in the time that it exists, it causes disharmony and destructive tendencies within the civilization that usually unwittingly harbors it. So it's like an attack, but it's a failed attack. It's doomed to fail, but it's also inevitable that it will cause some damage. And so it's like a delay. But the main thing is that in that heightened state, all information is accessible equally across the board. So all memories, experiences, lives, and one can't hide secrets. So the idea behind that is, would we be able to exist and coexist in such a civilization? That's where we have to get to now. That's the main idea of what we're doing here and how we have to shape ourselves now. So the jealousy, the tendencies to not want to work together, to fight, ego and aggression, all that has to be worked through. Otherwise, it's not going to work. And as well, there's two sides. There's one that wants to destroy, basically, and one that wants to protect. And they are both given equal access because to do one or the other would disrupt the time stream. So it's pretty complex, but that's what's going on.